Everyone's here right on time, even 2 minutes early, but who cares? We're gonna have 2 extra minutes of the 11th episode of the Not So Late Night Darts Show by HYLO. Welcome to each and every one of you, to everyone who's watching us on YouTube. But of course also to our regulars here on Zoom. If you are watching this on Zoom, as you well know by now, this is a bit of an interactive show. So throughout the show, at certain moments, you're going to get the chance to ask our two stars of the show a couple of questions. If you raise your virtual hand, you can do that towards the bottom of your screen. There's that little function where you can raise your hand, and then I know that you've got a question. And in the right moment, I'm going to pick you out, and you can ask our two stars a question. Speaking of our two stars, I'm absolutely delighted about today's lineup. On the show, we've got two-time Premier League playoff participant, former UK Open champion, Nathan Aspinall. Hi there, Nathan.
Hi, how are you doing? You okay?
Doing all right. Absolutely looking forward to the next hour. And to complete the lineup, we have got two-time major winner, former PDC world number one, Jaws, Colin Lloyd. Hi there, Colin.
Hi, how are you?
Doing very well. Looking forward to this. Delighted about the lineup. Nathan, I mean, on Friday you participated in the playoffs. You narrowly got beat in the semi-finals. After that, you said on Twitter that you were a bit disappointed with the outcome in the playoffs. But looking back at your entire Premier League campaign, you must be quite pleased with how you did.
Yeah, I think if you look at the 8 players that were left in it. I'm the first to admit I don't think I was probably one of the top 4 performers. So obviously I got in the top 4, which I think was a massive achievement back-to-back years. Obviously you're in that final 4, you want to give it everything, and you're 2 games away from being a Premier League champion. I threw everything at Jose that night, but he was just too strong. I couldn't get anywhere near him on his throw, to be fair. That last leg I banged a 164 and I thought he might bottle it, but he followed up with a 171, so fair play to him. He's a great player. And to be fair, he probably deserved to win that game. And, it was a great final. And, fair play to Johnny. I was dead happy for him. Even though I got on with Jose, I wanted Johnny to win. And great result for Johnny. And, it was a great season once again for me.
It really was. I mean, also because prior to the start of the Premier League, and people forget that because you did so well and you made it to the playoffs, but you were one of 3 or 4 players that were up there as far as the odds went to go out on Judgment Night. You certainly proved a couple of people wrong there.
Yeah, to be fair, last year I didn't perform very well by the standards that I set myself. I think he had a quarter final at the Grand Slam, and apart from that, he was pretty pants all year. Apart from the home tour, I did all right in that, but it wasn't the best of years. And everyone obviously had me down to get eliminated. And to be quite honest with you, I've said it a few times. That gave me the motivation to prove people wrong, which is something I've done all through my short career. I love proving people wrong, and once again I did that. And once I got past Judgment Night, I thought I could make the final 4, and I did that. And I was very proud with what I've achieved this year because I wasn't in the best of form.
I mean, Colin, you took part in the first 3 editions of the Premier League. You made it to the final in the very first one. I mean, back in 2005, that was. I mean, looking at how this event grew over the years, it's quite unbelievable.
Yeah, it's got absolutely massive now over the years. I'd just like to say, Nathan, don't do what I done. I got runner-up, semi-final, and then I was 5th the following year. So don't do that. But listen, we're way back in 2005 when this all started. None of us believed. We knew it was going to be something good, but we didn't realise how it would grow. I mean, the last year of me playing in it, I remember playing in Sheffield in front of 9,800 people. And unluckily for me, I was playing Dennis Priestley, who was the hometown man. And I had 9,800 people cheering him and 9,800 booing me. But no, it's brilliant. And, it's not all, it's down to what the PDC have done and what Sky have done, but you also have to give a big round of applause to the players because the players are the show. And then you've got people like Nathan. Nathan's a battler. he's a class act, and I can see him playing in the Premier League for many years to come. Same as Dimitri Van den Berg, Johnny Clayton, Gezi Price. But no, way back then, we were just saying, get in front of a couple of thousand people, this will be great. Who knew, like 16 years down the road? All right, unfortunately for these guys at the moment, what with COVID going on and whatever, the last couple of years, there hasn't been any fans. But next year, Nathan will get the opportunity to play in front of 10, 11, 12, 13,000 people, which will be great for him.
Manchester, that's all I want to do. Manchester. 2 years, I've missed out on it. But
I was going to say, Colin, they just need bigger arenas in Essex, or they would have needed anyway back in the day. I mean, Colin, do you sometimes watch the Premier League now? I mean, with the massive venues, with, as you mentioned, crowds 12,000 plus, and do you sometimes watch it and think, God, I would have loved to experience that?
Yeah, of course I do. But people say to me, you should get back up there. I'm still a decent enough dart player when it comes to exhibitions and things. But when it comes to match play now, and in the great words of Nathan Aspinall, I'm quite pants. So, but I'm not that competitive player anymore. I'm not going to say something broke inside me towards the end, but, these guys average hundreds for fun now. Back in my day, if you had 100 average, it was, unbelievable. He's just had over 100 average. These guys now, you have to average 100 to win. And even then, 105 average, sometimes you still get beat. Yeah. I would have been mortified back in my day if I'd have had 105 average and lost. But, of course I do. The nice thing about it is where I do work for the PDC and for Sky Sports Darts, I am around some of the arenas, and I stand in the background and I look up. I've seen Nathan performing. I've seen all the guys performing up there. And I can sit there now, and I've actually stood there, especially at Blackpool, because I love Blackpool. And I can look up there and I think to myself, right, this is squeaky bum time, son. This is where you've got to step up to the plate. And I sometimes think to myself, do I wish I was up there? Nah. Put my hands in my pockets and go walking out the back and have a chat with someone.
It's quite fitting that you mentioned the losing averages. I mean, because this year, the highest average that was played in the Premier League was James Wade with 110. And fittingly, he got beat in that match. So this is just how things go at the minute. So, I mean, with the lineup of today, with Nathan and Colin, I should think that a couple of viewers might have thought, well, that's an interesting pair that they found there. But there's actually a reason and something that Nathan and Colin have got in common. And I want to ask our viewers here in a little poll, and I'm going to start that right here. What do Nathan Aspinall and Colin Lloyd have in common? Is it the same birthplace? Do they both play with 26-gram darts? Have they both won a major event with a 170 finish? Or are they both former World Youth Champions? So we're going to see. Don't give it away, guys. Don't give it away. We're going to see. What our viewers say.
Where's the option of they're both extremely handsome?
Oh, I forgot that.
Both got red heads after the sun.
Well, that goes for 90% of the English population, doesn't it?
Well.
So, Colin, I mean, you mentioned your playing days, and you mentioned why you're not playing anymore. But sometimes when we speak with fans also in the venues at European Tour events, Colin Lloyd is one of those names that comes up quite regularly, where people say, well, where did he go? Where did he go? He was world number one, he won 2 majors, and then it kind of went quite quickly. And people ask, what is Colin Lloyd up to these days? You mentioned working with PDC and Sky Sports. What is Jaws doing nowadays?
As little as possible.
Aren't we all?
Little effort for maximum fee. People say I disappeared really quickly. You've got to remember, I was on the circuit at the very start of 1999, and I think I fell off the tour in about 2015. So, I was battle hardened at one point, but then I was battle beaten coming towards the end. And I've got no regrets. I went to Q School once. I really, really didn't enjoy it, and I thought, that's it for me. You've got to know when to walk away. I'm fortunate enough, where I was quite successful, I still get exhibitions, presentation nights and whatever. But no regrets. I don't want to say it's a young man's sport, but it's someone you've got to have that hunger and that drive, and you have to put in the hard work, and that's what I admire about Nathan, because he battles hard. I called him a battler on the podcast, I do, because he just won't go away. He'll keep fighting and fighting. And I like to think I was similar to that, but I lost that little bit of heart. I lost that little bit of confidence. And I just thought, thanks very much. I've had a fabulous time. I've travelled the world. It's time to start doing other things now.
So, guys, we're going to have a look at what people thought. What do Nathan Aspinall and Colin Lloyd have in common? Apart from
hopefully not. No one said the bottom one, surely.
Now let's have a look here. I mean, the majority of people said, 44% said that you both won a major with a 170 finish, which is the correct answer. 28% said both play with 26 gram darts. I think, Colin, I know how much your darts weigh. You would probably pull a muscle with 26 gram.
Oh, that's nearly 2 of my darts.
Yeah, it really is.
Big guns, you say, big guns.
So, and well, now that we spoke about it, we obviously have got it prepared. The 170 finishes of Colin Lloyd and Nathan Aspinall to
is
win.
Colin's in black and white, or is it?
Cheeky that. Nathan, we're going to start in colour. We're going to start in colour with yours. Yeah. So let's check this out. It's fantastic scenes.
Colin Lloyd's done it to win a major.
So
Ted Hankey.
Yeah. Video Worlds.
There's one. There's two. He's done it! And what a way to win! That is a star's way to win a tournament. Just fabulous. Nathan Aspinall, his granddad can't believe it. Rob
90. Colin Lloyd 170.
To do it with style, 60-60 pull. 60-60 pull. Bullseye for Lloyd to win.
Now then, I mean, Colin, to win a major is one thing, but to do it with a 170, that's another kettle of fish.
That was actually, I'm going to blow my own trumpet here. That was the second one I hit that week. I'd already hit one in the quarterfinals against Adrian Lewis. But yeah, of course it is. It's I don't know whether Nathan would agree with me here, but it's probably one of the easier big finishes because you're firing at the treble 20 all day long. And so you go treble 20, and you just have to come down that little bit. You've got to hit the red button, but fortunately enough, I hit it, and so did Nathan. And we both won a major title for hitting it.
I mean, Nathan, we saw those scenes there from the UK Open. I'm sure that is a moment that will live within you forever, really.
Firstly, I just can't believe how much weight I put on in 2 years. Look, so skinny on that. Wow. Jesus. But yeah, no, of course. It was, I'm actually at my granddad's now doing this. My house is getting done up. But yeah, it was brilliant with my granddad being there. Obviously, I got into darts because of my granddad, and to win my first title with my granddad there made it even special. But yeah, like Colin said, we play games in the practice room before we go out, and we always play. Well, I always play 170 with a few lads. So that finish, I'm throwing at for probably an hour before we go on as well. So when you get that opportunity, you do always fancy it, to be fair. And I'm really glad it went in, because if you're coming back on 25, as Colin said before, squeaky bum time starts then. You're thinking, oh no, don't should have set it up. But no, it went in, and yeah, what a way to win your first title.
I mean, I can't relate with the 170, but I can relate with the weight anyway. Let's hope the European tour doesn't start too soon, because I got to get back in the suit. So, terrible. I mean,
lockdown.
Telling you, that hit me hard. I mean, Colin, also something about this clip is the commentary of Sid Waddell. I mean, that is so special to have got such a moment, and you to have the late great Sid Waddell commentate on it. 60-60 bull, Lloydie, my son, you've done it. That is one for the ages, really.
Yeah, he more or less lost his voice towards the end of that. But the thing about that, I hit that to win the World Match Play. But it wasn't until like the leg before, I took the leg before, and I let it actually come into my head. I thought, I'm going to win the Stan James World Match Play. And that was the only time I let that creep into my head. And then John reeled off something like 3 legs on the spin. And I thought, no, not now. No, not now. And he hit a shot there. I can't remember what the shot was he hit. But I think he left himself 32. And I thought to myself, I really, really need to hit this shot. Because if I don't hit this shot, we're then going off for another break. John's on a roll, and I'm letting it stew around my head that I'd have lost 4 legs on the trot then. But yeah, when you say about Sid Waddell, it still seems funny. All the guys now that when I was in my prime, they're sort of like, they're not around anymore. Gwynny retired. Sadly, Sid passed away. You still got Pikey around and Nigel Pearson. But, you know, times move on. And, you know, these guys have got some good commentators blowing smoke up their backsides, as they say, quite a bit now. So
I would have loved to heard what Sid Waddell would have said about me. I would have loved to watch the game with commentating on me. It would have been brilliant.
Do you want me to tell you?
No.
No, the one thing that about Sid loved darts. Sid loved darts, and if I'm speaking honestly, he'd have loved someone like Nathan, because he wears his heart on his sleeve and he goes out and he attacks, and Sid loved that. He loved someone that wouldn't just lay down. They keep getting up and keep coming back for more. So I think you'd have done all right, Nathan, in Sid Waddell's eyes.
I'll take that.
I'm quite sure as well. So as I mentioned towards the start of the show, we are being interactive here, and we want our viewers on Zoom to get in here with a couple of questions. And we've got a couple of hands up here, and so we're going to get Lucas into the mix with us, and curious what he's got to ask, who the question is to, either Jaws or the Esp. So, and when Lucas unmutes himself, he can ask a question. Hi there, Lucas.
Hey guys, good evening.
Hi, okay.
How are you doing, mate? Where are you watching us from tonight?
I'm fine. I'm watching from Baden-Baden in the south of Germany.
From Baden-Baden. Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely. So, Lucas, what is your question? And to whom is it anyway?
I have 2 questions to Nathan, one from me and one from my brother who can't be here tonight. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
that's fine. It stays in the family. Yeah.
Can I start my video?
Yeah, you can start your video as well.
That's cool.
You can.
If you don't mention the world youth.
Hello.
Here we are. Hi there, Lucas.
My brother wants to know, Nathan, I think everyone connects you with the walk-on song, Mr. Brightside, but if you can choose another walk song, which one would you choose?
Ooh, I don't even know if you've heard of it. You've heard of Venga Boys? Boom, boom, boom. It's I was actually going to use that one before Mr. Brightside. I wanted to pick a song that, like, if you're on a night out, what song will get everybody up dancing? That's why I chose Mr. Brightside. But I don't know if it's because of the type of music I like. But boom, 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 Venga Boys. That'll get them all cheering.
Well, Kirk Bevins would be happy about that, wouldn't he?
Oh, I bet he would. Yeah.
So, Lucas, you get 2 questions. We're having a happy day today.
Yeah, the second one is from me.
Yeah. All right, then go for it.
Yeah, I heard Elmar Paulke saying, and I think Wayne Martin was saying that too. If I think he said that during one of your games, and to be honest, when I look more, I also noticed that you are particularly well able to check off bad legs and exuberant chances of double and play like that in the next leg, so nothing would have happened. Do you have a special technique or ability to do that, or how do you always do that? Because if I don't
understand that. Sorry, say that again.
I think what he means is that when you play a bad leg or something bad happens, you don't check out on the leg before, that you manage to to shake that off quite quickly.
Right. Okay.
You don't look like you are nervous.
Yeah.
I am. But I just egg leg's different. You know, if you miss 2 or 3 darts to win a leg and you lose that leg, there's no point stewing over it. It's done. There's nothing you can do. So you should kind of forget about it straight away, and you think, right, put him under pressure again. It's all about pressure. So I like to forget about the bad leg. Okay, I've made a mistake, but we'll forget about that now. We'll kick off with a big score and put the pressure back on them. And that's kind of, I play every leg as it comes. Don't worry about your bad legs. Just, it's another leg. Start off big and put the pressure back on them. And that's kind of my attitude towards it. So don't worry about your missed darts.
Okay.
Because you're going to miss a lot.
I know that feeling, Nathan. I know that feeling. Yeah. So, Lucas, thank you very much for your 2 questions. Very, very interesting. And regards to your brother, yeah?
Yeah.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining.
Thanks. Bye, guys. Ciao. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So far for our first bit of viewer participation. I mean, Nathan, Colin, I mean, I was commentating on the last couple of days of the Premier League there, including the playoffs, and I've never ever been so happy to see darts fans just enjoying themselves. It was tremendous just to see them back in Marshall Arena and Milton Keynes. Nathan, it looked like everyone was buzzing, especially the first couple of days.
Yeah, I've openly admitted I've really struggled to play without the fans, and you know, I've mentioned in a few interviews, you look at other sports, golf, big golfer, look at McIlroy. He struggled for a few years, but the fans haven't been there. The fans came back and he won. Certain people need more adrenaline than other people, and I'm one of them guys. I jump around like Tigger on stage. I need that adrenaline. I was sick of drinking Red Bulls before I walked on. So we obviously, when the fans came back, obviously with my walk-on song as well, they proper get involved. I like the walk-on song, and also as well, I think going into the last few nights, with it obviously being in England, European fans couldn't really travel. I was the one guy that they wanted to win because I was English, so I had a lot of support, and yeah, it was fantastic, and it just proves how much that, you know, we've missed it and how much darts needs fans. And yeah, they were fantastic all week, and you know, hopefully long may it continue and we don't go back to how it's been for the last 18 months.
Fingers crossed, I'm telling you there. I mean, Colin, you've been watching it as well. It's like a completely different game. Although it was only 1,000 people in, but it's just so much better to watch, really.
Yeah, I mean, like Nathan said, you get that adrenaline rush when you take out a big shot. You can large it as much as you like, but there's no one there. There's no one in the hall. You can go, yeah, there's no one here, and. You know, like Nate said, there's something you have to really drag the form out of it from the depths, and you think to yourself, I usually just flow. Why am I not flowing? And you need them juices flowing, and just to come back. Sometimes there's that familiar face in the crowd who you don't look for them, but you pick up a certain person. You pick up a certain person who you know quite well. And all of a sudden they look at you and you catch their eye and they sort of like go, come on, like that. And it's sort of like, yes, come on, like that. And you turn it and it gives you that boost. So, yeah, for the fans to be back, and it's just great in general to have the fans there. You know, I mean, I've been fortunate to be at the World Championships. Listen, fair dues to the PDC. Still carrying on, putting on the big major events. The prize money stayed the same, which was fantastic. You know, the guys could still earn a living. But sport isn't sport without the crowd. You've got to have the crowd, you know. And like Nathan he'd have loved it more if his family were there, his mates were there, you know. But he couldn't. He had to just go there, lock himself away in a hotel room, come downstairs, practice, go on the board and play, and back to his room. That's no way to enjoy the sport that you love.
I mean, whoever like the players look at that one person in the crowd, I just hope that they don't look back as unnervingly as the nosy cow does behind.
Hey, listen, I'd like to introduce you to Dolly. It's a portrait of the other half, Carol. I can say that because hopefully she's still not back in the house yet.
I was going to say she can't be in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Well, we're recording this, and this is going live on YouTube. So I mean, Colin Nathan, I think at the Premier League, he said in one of his post-match interviews that he wants to prove to people that he's not something like a one-hit wonder. I think he's doing everything to prove that he's rightfully up there in the rankings. Yeah.
Listen, Nathan don't have to prove anything to anyone. He lets his darts do the talking, and he doesn't have to. I mean, I was quite gobby, quite trappy, and sometimes I backed it up, sometimes I didn't. But Nathan's proved over the past couple of years that he's good enough. I mean, he got onto the tour to start off with. I think I might have still been on the tour then. Then he
actually beat me.
Sorry?
You actually beat me on tour.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Have that.
Yeah. I remember that.
But, Nathan's not shy. He's upfront and honest about it. He lost his tour card. He thought he'd made it. But he worked doubly hard again. And he got his tour card again. And listen, the world's his oyster at the minute. He's one of those people, if it's not quite right, he's prepared to put in the hard work. There's a lot of players that think it will just come round again. No, that doesn't happen. A golfer, like Nate just said about Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy would have thought, listen, something's not quite firing at the minute. I need to put this right, because it's a very slippery slope. If you let things keep getting into your game that aren't right, you have to correct it. And Nathan seems to me as though he does that, puts in the hard work, and he's reaping the reward of that hard work. So, the best of luck to him. And he is, they say about big guns in the game, he is one of the big guns. He's a heavy hitter, and when his finishing is on, he's very, very hard to beat. And people know they've got a game when they come up against him.
I mean, Nathan, Colin just mentioned it there. You losing the tour card after you'd first won it, and in retrospect, you said that this is one of the best things that's happened to you, because you kind of take it for granted that you've got it, and that really spurred you on to great things.
Yeah, I think if you look back, I think it was 2015. I'd won my card. I was playing youth darts, and I played Max up in the youth final. So I'm living a dream. I've got a tour card. I've made the World Youth Final. I lost that final. Subsequently, I didn't make it into the World Championships. Subsequently, I lost my tour card. So for all of a sudden, I thought I'd made it. Then in that one game, I lost everything, and it absolutely ruined me. I went back. I had probably about another 12 tournaments that I had to win about 8,000 to keep my card, and I don't think I won a game. My head just completely went. I had 12 months of working hard to get my tour card back, and I didn't. And I did a year on the Challenge Tour, and that's what kind of got me to where I am. I started getting that winning feeling again. I made a lot of European events by qualifying, getting some good results out there, even not having a tour card. So yeah, it was a good thing. It kind of puts things into perspective, where you won a tour card, you think you've made it. No, that's the start. You know what I mean? You got to work 4, 5, 6 times as hard as you did to get your tour card. And there's a young lad, Louis Williams, that signed with my manager, and he won his tour card, and on his first day he beat Van Gerwen, beat Dimitri, and he's walking around Billy Big Balls. And I say, mate, you've had one good day. I said, you've not done anything yet. I said, you need to keep working hard, otherwise, as quick as you've got it, you'll lose it. And he works hard, and you've just got to put the hours in. And like Col said, if you don't put the hours in, you'll never do anything at this sport. You have to be very selfish. You have to miss a lot of things, and you have to put so many hours in. And I'm reaping the rewards now. So you look back at over the last 2 or 3 years, the sacrifices I've made are all paying off. Thank God.
I mean, Nathan, the last couple of days of the Premier League, there's one incident, obviously, that will be remembered for years and years and years to come, I'm sure. And it's
120 by any chance.
And it's not necessarily something that happened in the playoffs, but on night 16. And we're going to have a look at it here. Your night 16.
Cheeky.
Your night 16 match against Jose de Sousa. For the heck of it, we're going to look at it again.
They're both qualified. They're both in great positions, but he's not. Oh, he's not. Oh, stop it! Oh! Stop it! Stop it right now!
To be fair, though, at least it got Mardell off commentary for a day. Every cloud.
Yes.
Oh dear. Speaking of cheeky, Nathan. Speaking of cheeky, I mean, it is one of those shots where we saw your reaction. It was the first leg, and you just hold your hands up and say, I mean, what a shot! But listen, it is some way to go.
Listen, it was a great shot. I was laughing, and I was laughing more the audacity of doing it in a Premier League match, first leg. And listen, if you take out fair play, but it's hard to say really. But
if you miss it, you look really stupid.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's a professional way to go. I don't. It's a great shot. I didn't agree with it, but he hit it, and one day it will bite him. Well, it's bit him in his bum a few times, to be fair. And you know what was even more annoying? About 4 legs later, he had 80 when top.
Yeah.
Oh, not again.
Yeah.
Oh God. But like I say, he hit it. But yeah.
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned it. I mean. It takes some audacity to do that, and it's funny that we're having someone on the show today who is kind of one of the founding fathers of the double movement, and we've got video proof here of that happening. Mr. Colin Lloyd at the 2002
World Darts, 25 tops.
World Darts
2002.
Let's have a look here. In the same match as well, against Peter Medley, semi-finals.
I was 11.
60. No, two double tops. Another one! Oh, my goodness! Oh, my giddy grandma! A double top finish. It's all over in here! Well, that's the first time I have ever seen 105 checked out with 25 two double tops. You learn something every day about this game that you didn't know before. Of course, I realised, Sid, that could be done that way, but I didn't think anybody had tried. This for Lloyd. Coming down for 19.
Oh, this is a beauty.
Yes, 80 left. Treble 20, double 20. Oh, he's going for two double tops. Why not? Oh, that is...
But it's the way to go.
Celebrate a shot.
I mean, that is fantastic darts, Colin. And I left the commentary in there for a reason, because I mean, in 2002, those double finishes, they weren't seen so regularly. So that was took even a bit more audacity to do it then.
Well, to be fair, back in the day, one of the first people I saw go double was a guy called Kevin Kenny from Liverpool. He loved 36, and I saw him leave 72, and he only had 2 darts in his hand. He went double 18. So it had been done. But like Nathan just said there, the 137, 9 times out of 10 today, a player will hit the 57 and he will go for the bigger target. He will go tops. I don't think so much now that it's looked at as being a bit flash. They're the sort of shots you usually say for exhibitions. Like Jose, when he went tops, Nathan was exactly right. That wasn't the right way to go. And certainly not in the Premier League or even in a TV event. But back in our day, or back in my 2002, how old were you, Nathan?
11, yeah.
As long as you stayed up, asked your mum and dad to say, can I start late to watch Lloyd? I don't care. But no, back in our day, it didn't happen very often. Peter Manley done it a few times because Peter was known that Peter would always spin round and go one dart. But it's a regular occurring thing now, but not tops. But I was pleased when it does. Well, I still lost that match anyway, so it didn't really make any difference.
I mean, Nathan, the tops way is one thing, but also then on the next day in the semi-final, where he nearly paid the price for his counting, when he went 15, when he had 37 left, and he bust on double 16, and then he wanted to leave 32 by hitting another 25, and hit the bullseye and left 7. I mean, in the end,
that was ridiculous.
it kind of was. I mean, it let you back in the game, but it's also, I imagine, it's quite difficult to focus really, because that's in your head while you play.
I think the problem with me is that I just love playing darts. I enjoy it, especially with the crowd there, and I just love being part of it. So when I hear the crowds chanting, or I see things that he does, because I'm not like I don't take it too serious, so I can start laughing. Me, I think it's kind of great that he's gone that way because he's messed up. But like I think when he left, when he had 7 left, he hit the bull. I think there's a clip, and I actually turned around and I went, "You off your head, you mate?" During the game, because I'm like, "What? You just hit 17? What's wrong with you?" But yeah, that's Jose, and I think that's what makes him quite one of the most popular dart players at the moment. I think he's fun to watch. He's entertaining. You have absolutely no idea. I wouldn't like to be the cameraman. You have no idea where you're going. I always remember we used to get asked like before we play what doubles you're going to go, etc., etc. You'd have a sheet that big for Jose because about 9 different ways. Yeah. But now, listen, it was a good shot when it came off. But you know, how many times will he do that? I'd probably say 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6, maybe. I don't know. It's that first start. If that first start's in, you fancy it. Yeah. But so many times you'd overpitch it. But anyway, it was a good shot. But yeah, we'll move on.
I mean, Colin, we don't want to be too hard on Jose because I mean, as Nathan said, he's a fantastic player. He's a great lad and hugely entertaining to watch. But watching it as a pundit from your point of view, I mean, if he sorted his counting out, that would
one of the best in the world.
Yeah, it's all about with Jose. Listen. He's won a major. He's the current Grand Slam champion. He knows how to get over the winning line. He's not afraid to go over that line. It's just sometimes he's bored management. You just think to yourself, what are you doing now? I was sitting there watching it, and I was like Nathan. I was just laughing, thinking, mate, you're mad. You're absolutely mad. What are you doing? But listen, it's whatever's in your head at the time. As a professional player, you know, sometimes you'll have a shot, and like Nathan will tell you, you'll come back, you know you're going to get those 3 darts, and you're already standing behind your opponent, and you know you want a certain shot. You think, right, I'll go that way, because if I hit that, I can go that and then that. And then all of a sudden, you address the hockey, say like 82, you think to yourself, you've got 3 darts, I'm going to go treble 14 tops, 14, 18 ball. All of a sudden, you stand there, and all of a sudden, you start aiming at the bullseye. And it's too late then because your arms come back and it's going forward. And you think, why am I doing that for? I'd already told myself I was going treble 14. And so I sometimes think he's thinking something and his body's telling him to do something else. But the unfortunate thing for Jose is that when his body's telling him to do something else, it's usually the wrong score. And that's the thing where it's going wrong. You know, he'll go, yes, I've checked out 85. Actually, you've scored 105. You haven't checked out 85. You've checked out 105. You know, it's 20 too many. Oh, and then you see him come out and he's scratching his head. And you think, how did I do that? And
he just starts laughing.
Yeah, and he just laughs. Yeah. But listen, like we said, he's a fantastic player. Just that little bit of, I don't know, is it concentration? I don't know, but that little bit of extra ball management, and he could be a devastating player.
You know, his favourite subject at school was maths as well.
Did he tell you that?
It was in the Premier League programme. We was reading it, and it said favourite subject maths. And we all looked at it. Really?
Oh, come on! He's taking the mickey. Certainly, he must be. I mean, I remember also. I think it was night 14 or something when he played Dimitri, and Jose was on 84 left, and I think Dimi was on 75.
Yeah.
And Jose hits first dart, hits 20. He's got 64 left, and you would go treble 14 or 14 for bull. And he goes for treble 16, misses, and sets up double 16. And I was like, why would you do that? Give yourself a chance for the bullseye. And then a couple of legs later, I think Dimitri is on 250 left. And Jose is on 81, and he goes 19-12. And I was like, don't you dare to go for the bullseye now. It's like, because it's...
We might be addressing this all wrong. He might be a very, very clever man and knows how to get into people's heads.
Do you know what? That could actually be it.
Yeah, but maybe he's playing all of us like fiddles. You never know. You never know. But what I do know is that it is time for another viewer question or two. And Kati has had her hand up for quite some time now. So we're going to get her in the mix, and then she can ask a question to Jaws or the Asp. Let's hear when she's unmuted herself. Yeah, now. Hi there, Kati.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing? All right?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. So what is your question, and who is it to?
My question has actually already been answered. The curious Josie. The question was for Nathan. When you play against a player as good as Josie de Sousa and you see him check 120 with 3 times double 20, but then he miscalculates on another checkout and throws himself up, and suddenly it's your turn again. To what extent does that irritate you in your own game, or are you completely in the tunnel?
Again, it's difficult to answer that because I don't kind of worry what the other person is doing. When he took that 120 out, you acknowledge it was a great shot, but you're thinking, in Jose, you're always going to get chances. He's always going to make a mistake. So even though that was a great shot, you just bide your time and wait for him to do a miscount or to go the wrong way, and then you have to pounce and kind of give it him back, if you know what I mean. So, when he took that shot out, it is a bit annoying, but you can't let it ruin your game. You've just got to stay focused and wait for him to make the mistakes, and you've got to then pounce on them mistakes.
Maybe if it had happened later on in the match, it was fortunate it was the very first leg. If it had happened later on in the match and it was a tight match, then maybe it might have played on your mind a little bit. But as it was the first match and you thought to yourself, you absolute lunatic, what are you doing? you could laugh it off and refocus, regroup, and just carry on with the match.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, if it was like 4-5 and he did it, to be fair, I think your head would have gone. I can't believe he done that to me. But yeah, with it being early in the game, it didn't really matter.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Interesting insights there, Kati. Thank you so much for your question. Enjoy the rest of the show. And I think we can go. We can go for another one. We've got Seraphim. Seraphim. That's an interesting name. If the question is half as interesting as the first name, then it's going to be a cracker. Well, here we are. So now we just need to, listen. Hi there.
Hello. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you. Everything perfect. How are you doing, mate? All good?
I hope you're doing well. So for Nathan and Colin, through this shitty pandemic. My question is, so it is not really a question, but choose 2 doubles, but you're not allowed to say tops, doubles 16 or double 12.
18s for me.
Excuse me?
Double 18 for me.
Double 18 and double 8 for me.
All right.
18s and 10s.
So this was my question.
Those are
I can't believe it didn't say bullseye, Colin.
So, Seraphim, thank you so much for your question. Enjoy the rest of the show, mate. Thanks for asking. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
So, guys, here we go. Now, Colin, as you are speaking to a German here, there is one famous incident from the 2011 World Darts Championship when you played.
Oh, you're not going to bring that up.
When you played a German player, and we received a couple of questions about this also on Instagram. We're going to have a look at it, Colin. We're going to have it short, but we're going to have a look at it.
2011.
2011 World Darts Championship. Colin Lloyd against Andre Velge in the deciding 5th.
That was only about 4.
It's struggling in shallow waters.
Oh dear!
It's a great comeback by Velge, but it's a disappearing act from Colin Lloyd, hasn't it? Well, I tell you what. Well, Lloyd is in danger of absolutely imploding up there. Well, you cannot do that, John. No.
In danger of imploding.
No matter how frustrated you are, you cannot do that. And he must know that. But that just shows Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before on a big stage. I've never seen that before. The board actually physically.
Now, Colin, that is one of the most painful looking things I've ever seen. A dartboard and the wiring is incredibly hard. That must have hurt.
Did you see the size of me at the time? I was a block. And God rest his soul, I was chatting with Eric Bristow after the match. And listen, it's not one of my finest moments. It was quite shameful, really. But Eric said, I thought the whole beep, beep, beep stage was going to come down. But if I'd have really hit it, that was a frustrating little cuff. If I'd have really hit it, then I think things would have moved a bit more. But no, it wasn't. That was at a time when, around that time, Nathan will tell you this as well, you sometimes have a lull in your form. You have that little dip, but then I never used to fight against those things. All right, it'll come back. It'll come back. Still practicing hard, still doing everything the right way that worked for me. And it was just taking forever and a day. And I thought, why do I not feel as though I'm getting any consistency back? I don't feel as though, nothing seems to be happening. What's going on? And I'd never had that before. And in that match, I just lost my head, basically. I lost my head completely. And I rightfully got punished for it. Like I say, it's not my finest moment. But listen, at the end of the day, I won the match. So
I couldn't say, did you win?
Yeah, I won the match. I won the match.
In style, 116 finish for the match, yeah.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was, I remember.
I come off, I got interviewed, I went down to the press room and everything, and I didn't want to really talk to anyone. I really didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to go into the back room. Andre had been a player that's been around a very, very long time. He'd been a great player for German darts. I just wanted to talk to him. I just wanted to apologise, and I wanted to say, listen, it got the better of me. My frustrations were coming through. Thank God I am the only person to ever have done that. I dare say some people have wanted to do it, but hopefully there hasn't been, and there will never be a repeat performance like that. But I just wanted to get off the stage, go to see Andre, and apologise profusely and say, listen, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It was not only unsportsmanlike, it was ungentlemanly. There is stepping over the mark, and I did overstep the mark in that match. And I paid for that for a good while. A lot of people never let me forget it, as you've done, Philip. You've just dragged up my past from 10 years ago.
How much did you get fined?
That's all you're worried about, isn't it? I think
you probably set the DRA up then, did you?
Well, I paid for all their holidays that year. I think I got fined. I think it was $3,000. I think I got fined $3,000. $3,000, and I had like a 6-month suspended sentence as well. If I'd done anything else, I'd have been banned for a year or 2 years or whatever. So, yeah, not my finest moment, but yeah, I won. I lost the next game anyway. So,
Colin, I'm sorry that I brought it up, pal. But
no, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
We showed the 170. We showed the top. So I thought we've got to do something to get him back to the ground.
Listen, I've been back on the ground for ages.
I mean, Nathan, obviously, it's well documented as well that at one point in your career, you had a moment where you said that you had £20 to your name. You had £20 in the pocket, and that was that. And you had your family to support. So, I mean, you must know everything about playing under huge amounts of pressure. And darts at times, like we saw there with Colin, and he's such an experienced player, and usually he was such a mental strength as well. But darts can sometimes really get the worst out of you.
Yeah, I think until you've experienced it, listen, it's a great life. I don't have to go and do my accountancy 9 to 5, earn decent money, travel the world, but it's a very lonely life. It's tough, and if you're struggling and you're turning up week in, week out, you're not getting a result, not making any money, you've got no one to turn to. You're on your own in a hotel room. Obviously, you've got your mates at darts, but they're the mates when they want to be, but probably deep down, they're probably happy that you're losing, if you know what I mean. It's a very, very lonely sport.
Nathan,
So yeah, when
Nathan, do you have the microphone attached to your thing? Can you pull it out a little bit? Because
yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, it is tough. It's quite a lonely sport if you're struggling. And yeah, I think every player goes through these patches. Probably the biggest ones like your Wes Newtons, your Andy Hamiltons, Benito. Everyone struggles, and it's how you deal with it. And going back to my story, it's I made a decision to quit my job when I signed my manager, and he got me sponsorship. That money went, and because I quit my job, every time I was playing darts, I had to win money to pay my rent. And it got to the point where I just couldn't handle it anymore. I had £20 left, and I was about to pack everything in. And I phoned my manager up. He was on Greece on holiday at the time. And I said, Martin, I just can't do it. I can't handle this pressure. I'm going back to work, blah, blah, blah. And he sent me £3,000. And he said, go and do what you do best. Stop worrying about money. I'll sort you out. And then 2 days later, I won my first Pro Tour, won 10 grand. And then all the pressure, the stress, the anxiety, the anger of not performing and not winning just kind of went. And then I've not looked back since. And I had a little bit of a dip last year, but nothing to how it was a few years ago. And you've got to be mentally strong to deal with stuff like that. I've not hit a dartboard yet, but I'm sure there's time. I've put a few doors through. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, I've not done a dartboard yet.
Do you know, Philip, like Nathan just now said there, that this is where the PDPA, the Professional Dart Players Association, that's where the players need to understand. I mean, I was someone. Listen, I don't know if you know England very well. I'm a typical Essex boy. Trap. I didn't want help from anyone. I'd do it all myself. I think Nathan's a little bit like that. It just, I'll deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the PDPA is there to help players. If they're struggling, not financially, but if they're struggling mentally with a few different things. And I totally understand what Nathan's saying. Sometimes, even in my prime, I'll be sitting in an airport and I think, God, I'm going away again. I just want to have a couple of weeks at home. I just want to catch up with my parents. I want to catch up with my brothers and sisters. I want to catch up with my mates. I just want to put my darts away in the drawer and just have a couple of weeks of a few beers, watching a bit of football, doing anything, hitting a golf ball or whatever. But then you have to snap yourself out of that, because I did think to myself at the time, I think, Joe, what, Colin, stop whinging. You've got the best job in the world, mate. You're traveling the world. People pay you money to see you perform. You earn good money. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and get off your backside. But I can totally understand. I can totally see where people might suffer with mental health issues. And, if anybody was suffering with that sort of thing, don't be ashamed to ask. Go to the PDPA. They'll put you in touch with the right people. And there's always someone out there that will put an arm around you and give you a hand. And that person was Nathan's manager. He said, just go out there and do what you can do. Do what you do best. Don't worry about money. And that's what made him relax, go to the Pro Tour that weekend, and he won his first one. And as we say over here, Bob's your uncle. He hasn't looked back since. He's a major champion now. He's competing in all the majors. He's won multiple tournaments. It just takes that one incident, that one thing, that little one thing that can turn everything around. But it's a matter of someone reaching out to you to give you that helping hand.
Yeah,
sometimes those things just happen, and then, as Nathan mentioned, things fall into place, really. And it's funny how sometimes before this show things fall into place for me, because when I did a bit of research for this, and I sometimes try to find ways how I can challenge my guests with a little something, and I've come across the following photograph that was taken by an underwater photographer. And look at this. This is an actual shark. So and it looks very much like the Jaws movie poster, the famous one.
Yeah.
So when I saw that photo, I thought, you know what, let's have a bit of fun with a couple of movie posters. And I've got a couple prepared here. The only thing that's missing from them is the title of the movie. And I wonder how many Colin and Nathan can get correct between you two. God. So we've got Jaws out of the way, and now this is the first one. Sure. I've got prepared here.
Well, I think it all. Do you know it, Colin?
I know it. Yeah.
Is it Gladiator?
Yeah, Gladiator. Yeah, I'm saying Gladiator.
Is it?
There we go. It is Gladiator.
Yeah, of course.
Got worried then.
At first, I thought about 300, but
that's what I was thinking then.
When I saw it first, yeah.
No, that's Gerard Butler. That's Russell Crowe.
Colin Lloyd. It is movie connoisseur, Jaws.
Sure. Let's
go for the next one here. Maybe we've got one. That's the easiest one, I'd say.
Yeah, I know that one. You know it, Cole?
I know the film, but I can't remember the name of it.
Hangover.
Yeah, we all know that. We all know that, Nathan.
That's my life. Honest to God, what they get up to is my life. Every week.
Where's the face tattoo, mate? Where's the face tattoo?
I've got some bad ones of them.
We've got a third one. That one might actually be a bit more. Well, obviously that's the answer there. Hangover, obviously. So this one might be a bit more tricky.
Oh, yeah. That's I know. I think I know anyway. Do you know it, Nate?
No, I recognise it, but if you say it, I'll go on.
This is what I'm thinking. Is it The King's Speech?
Oh, I would have said that. Well done. Well done. I would have never got that.
Spot on, yeah, spot on.
I've never even seen that.
I have to say it's a great film because it's true. It's true to life. So it's a good film.
I watched it as well. I really liked it. Yeah, it's a really good film. Now let's go for the next one. A very iconic movie.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, you know that one, Dave, do you?
No.
Nice Chianti and some fava beans.
Oh, there we go. Even quoting it.
Well, hello, Therese. Do you not know it?
Nope. No, go on. Is it? If it's a horror, I wouldn't have seen it because I'm a right mad ass.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, indeed it is. The Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins.
I'm more of a Disney kind of guy.
Do you know what? I'm going to tell you a little thing here. I don't know if you know this. Obviously, Anthony Hopkins got an Oscar for it, and so did Jodie Foster. Yeah. And in the making of the film, they never actually filmed any scenes together. They never met each other.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think when they filmed, they were separated by the glass when they were talking to the camera all of the time.
Just talking to the camera. Yeah, they never saw each other.
Yeah.
Really? Well.
Mad. Bit useless information for you.
There you go.
And another bit of useless information for you, as we're already deep into it here. I think to this day, Anthony Hopkins won the Oscar for the Best Actor in a Leading Role. I think to this day is the guy with the least amount of on-screen time, actually, because I think he was only in the movie for I don't know how long, 13 minutes or something that you saw him on screen.
Wow.
And he won an Oscar for the leading role. So that's telling you something. We have got one left, gentlemen. Jaws is doing extremely well. The ESP is learning a lot.
Yeah, but what you've got to understand is I'm sort of like retired now. I just sit on my backside on the sofa all day. Nathan's got to get up and practice and get ready for tournaments.
I spend a lot of time in hotel rooms. I should know these.
Well, don't watch The Silence of the Lambs in a lonely hotel room. That is not nice. So this is the last one that I've got prepared for you here.
Oh, this is a great film. It's probably one of my favourite films.
It is
my favourite film
indeed.
Yeah. Go on, Nate.
Shawshank.
Yeah, there we go.
Shawshank.
There we go. It's the Shawshank.
My favourite film.
Redemption. Is it really?
Amazing. It's my favourite film.
There you go.
Amazing.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
But sometimes things fall into place, as we just said. And two things that are going to fall into place for the final minutes of this show are 2 more viewer questions, and we are going to go for Paul Stevenson. That sounds English speaking, I'd say. I think we've had 3 German speaking viewers asking a question about that time that we got someone from the UK asking one. So here we go. Paul Stevenson, if he unmutes himself. Hi there, Paul.
Hi.
Oh. How are you doing, mate? Where are you watching us from?
I'm watching from St. Elizabeth's Krankenhaus in Köln.
Oh, in Köln. Oh, from the hospital?
Yeah, from the hospital.
Oh, Paul, are you doing okay?
Yeah, I am now. I got over a serious issue with a bit of cancer, but I'm on the mend now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Paul, first of all, get well soon from all of us here. And it's fantastic that you're tuning in from the hospital to watch us. It's great.
Yeah, it's been I just want to say, I've got no questions. I just want to say thanks for an absolutely brilliant hour long. And yeah, it's been really entertaining. And thanks to you guys, Nathan, for your professional, passionate way you play darts and for your sportsmanship. I think that not just you, the guys that you play with are such great sportsmen, and they can hug each other afterwards and say, "Good game, mate. You give me a good whooping." I think that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's really made darts for me grow and in another dimension. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've watched it since. Oh God, I can't remember. I've been in Germany 20 years, so I've been watching it since I've been in Germany, and it's changed in the last few years. I just want to say thanks for all your effort.
Hey, you don't have to thank us. It's we're here to entertain, pal. I'm glad you enjoy it.
And Philip, your English is absolutely tremendous.
I'm trying my best. Thank you so much, Paul. And I can really say whatever happens now, you have made this show, Paul.
Yes,
Thank you.
Get well soon, Paul.
And get well soon, Paul.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Yeah.
Get well soon. All the best from all of us here at the Not So Late Night Dart Show. Thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye, mate. Bye. No, that was lovely. That was lovely.
Yeah, that was great. Absolutely great.
Absolutely fantastic. So let's go for one last question. We're going to have Timothy with us here. Timothy. And I'm a bit moved there now, actually. That was fun. That was fantastic, that, honestly. Fantastic, Paul. So now, Timothy, if you unmute yourself, pal, which you've done now, you can shoot and ask the Esp or Jaws a question or two. Hi, Timothy.
I have 2 questions for both players.
That's great.
First, do you have a darts idol? And the second question is, how can I get mentally stronger and hit singles, triples, and doubles in important moments and under pressure?
Oh, I'm very interested in that second question as well. I'm all ears now.
I'll do the easy one. I'll say the idle one. Obviously, Colin Lloyd.
Hey!
Now, for me, Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis. I think one of my first memories of darts was Adrian against Phil in the Grand Slam. That epic game. I think it was 2013, maybe. And Gary Anderson for me, he's got the best throw. I'm fortunate enough to be friends with Gary and practice with him. I practice with him all through the Premier League, and he's the only guy I still get nervous when I'm practicing with him, and that sounds mental. But you know, he's a great guy. He's helped me out a lot, and like I say, he's the only guy that I still get a bit jittery when I play with. So yeah, them 2 for me, fantastic players, both of them.
Who's it for you, Lloydie? Your idol.
So obviously, I grew up in a different era to Nathan. So I mean, mine. I used to like following obviously Eric Bristow, you know, because Eric was a winner and a prolific title winner. And there was a few for me. John Lowe was always Mr. Rocksteady. Another guy who I used to follow, and he actually became like not a teammate really, but he played in the Essex Super League, what we used to have around here in the time, and played for Essex as a county, was a guy called Dave Whitcomb. Dave Whitcomb was a 2-time World Masters champion. But unfortunately, he never won the actual Worlds because he walked into a rampant Eric Bristow. Bristow just annihilated him every time. So they were sort of like they were players for me that I grew up and enjoyed watching.
Dave Whitcomb, lovely throw as well. Dave Whitcomb.
Yeah, very smooth, smooth action throw. Yeah.
So now, guys, you've got the easy question out of the way. Now Timothy needs help with improving his mental game and hitting doubles and trebles. What can he do?
Have more doubles and trebles.
Don't put so much of a mixer in.
I know it's a tough one, really. I actually think confidence. Obviously, the more you play, the more you win. The more better you'll feel in your game. I just try to not put as much pressure on yourself, really. Try and relax, try and enjoy it. Like I said earlier on in the night, if you lose a leg, try not to stew on it. Try not to worry about it. It's a new leg. Go up there and try and put the other guys under pressure, take it off you. And, for me, that's what I do. I try not to put too much pressure on myself, try and put it back on them and just try and relax as best as you can and have a couple of doubles and trebles.
For me, it was always I liked trying to take myself out of my comfort zone. Don't keep playing the same people over and over and over again. If need be, move to a different league, new faces, fresher faces that you've got to compete against, because you're freshening yourself every time. You're coming up against people you don't know. You sometimes have to be uncomfortable to play, if that makes sense, in the fact that, when you play against players that you see all the time, it's different as a professional player, because you're coming up against top players all the time, constantly. But if you just keep playing the same players over and over and over again, you're going to get stale and you're going to get flat. So you've just got to go play different people, go and play some local competitions, and give yourself the best chance that you can. And I've been a big one for saying 3 words: practice, practice, practice. You don't get anywhere in life unless you practice. You can't expect to just turn up and think, right, I'm here, take my darts out, have a couple of beers, right, I'm ready. No, you're not, because you haven't put in the hard work. Nathan will tell you that. He's a prime example of it. You have to put in the hard work. You put in the hard work, you will reap the rewards.
I think touching on that, playing different people, that's something I definitely did. When I first started, I played with a couple of mates in the pub, and it got to the point where I was beating them all the time. So I then went to a better player who played for like a county team.
That's it.
And then I would lose all the time. And then after probably 4 or 5 weeks, I started beating him. So then, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this guy, Ian Walters. Do you remember Ian?
Yeah, I remember Ian Walters. Yeah.
Yeah, so he owned the local pub, but he won his tour card. So I started playing with Ian, and he would beat me every night, 10-2, 10-2, 10-1. And I kept going back. And then after about 3 months, he stopped answering my calls because I kept beating him. and then, to be fair, I then went to Dowell Fitton, started playing with Dowell.
Yeah.
Started beating Dowell. And I think you've just got to keep it, like you're saying, fresh. If you're playing the same guy, beating him 10-0, 10-1, he's doing no good for you. So, vary up and try and find someone better than you. It gives you a target, and it puts you're under pressure.
Yeah.
You'll learn to play better for longer. And that's kind of what I did early on.
You've got to keep pushing yourself. You always push.
So Timothy, that's the way to go. Find stronger players, keep pushing, and then surely at one point we're going to have you as a guest on the show when you represent Germany. Timothy, thank you so much for your question.
And Nathan, good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And this is, unfortunately, all we've got time for. The hour of the Not So Late Night Dart Show by HYLO already up. First things first, a massive thank you to my 2 guests of the show, Nathan Aspinall and Colin Lloyd. It's been a blast with you guys. Thank you.
No worries, mate.
And to all of you that have watched us out there on Zoom, on YouTube, it's been fantastic of you to join us here. Thanks for watching. Special regards once more to the hospital in Cologne, to Paul. Keep your head up and get well soon, mate. It's been great that you joined us here. To each and every one of you, give us a like on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever, on YouTube as well. Give us a like there, and then you'll always be up to date when we're on air with the next episode. We're going to be back for you in 2 weeks' time on June 15th. Once more, thanks a lot to Nath, to Colin. It's been absolutely fantastic. Have a lovely evening, everyone, and bye-bye.
Thank you.